Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a topic that is both intriguing and critical in understanding global geopolitics, why America is afraid of India, and what is the reason behind it. At first glance, it may sound surprising. America and India are long-standing partners, sharing democratic values and strong economic ties. Yet, beneath the surface, there are three key reasons why America approaches India with caution, sometimes even apprehension. India's economic growth and market potential are among the most significant factors shaping its position on the global stage, and they play a central role in why countries like the United States watch India closely. Over the past few decades, India has transformed from a primarily agrarian economy into a rapidly developing industrial and service-driven powerhouse. Its growth trajectory has been consistently impressive, with periods of high GDP expansion that outpace many developed nations. This remarkable economic development is fueled by a combination of demographic advantages, entrepreneurial energy, and strategic reforms that have opened the country to global trade and investment. The United States, despite being a long-standing partner of India, cannot ignore the implications of this growth. India represents both an enormous opportunity and a formidable challenge in economic terms, and it is precisely this duality that creates a sense of cautious respect or even apprehension from America. One of India's greatest economic assets is its population. With over 1.4 billion people, India has the second largest population in the world. This immense human resource provides a vast labor pool capable of supporting diverse industries, from technology and manufacturing to agriculture and services. Furthermore, India's population is notably young. A significant proportion of its citizens are under the age of 35. Providing a demographic dividend that can drive productivity, innovation, and consumption for decades to come. This large, young workforce not only fuels domestic growth, but also makes India an attractive destination for foreign companies looking to expand operations, reduce costs, and tap into a skilled labor base. For the United States, this demographic factor signals both opportunity and competition. While American companies benefit from outsourcing and collaboration with Indian talent, the potential for India to become an independent economic competitor is equally evident. Another critical aspect of India's economic rise is its rapid expansion in the technology sector. India has emerged as a global hub for software development, IT services, and digital innovation. Cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Pune are now recognized worldwide as centers of technological excellence, drawing multinational corporations and venture capital investment. Indian firms are not only serving international markets, but also competing in advanced sectors such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, fintech, and space technology. The success of India's tech sector demonstrates the country's capacity to innovate at scale, challenge established global players, and reshape the global economy. For America, which has long dominated in technological innovation, India's rise represents a strategic shift. India's ability to compete on this front is a source of admiration, but also a reason for vigilance, as it signifies that India is moving from being a service provider to a global economic competitor. India's consumer market is another dimension that amplifies its global economic significance. With a growing middle class estimated to exceed 500 million people, India represents a massive consumer base for goods and services ranging from electronics and automobiles to healthcare and education. Rising incomes, urbanization, and exposure to global lifestyles have created unprecedented demand across sectors. Companies from around the world, including American multinationals, see India as a critical market for expansion. However, this potential also challenges existing market hierarchies. American businesses are increasingly competing with Indian companies that understand the local market deeply and are capable of delivering innovative products tailored to Indian consumers. The sheer scale of India's market gives it economic leverage that few countries possess, positioning it as a significant force in shaping global trade patterns. Economic reforms and globalization have further strengthened India's position. Policies such as Make in India, the liberalization of foreign direct investment rules, and the development of infrastructure have made India an attractive destination for international business. These measures facilitate investment, stimulate job creation, and improve the ease of doing business, all of which contribute to sustained economic growth. India's integration into the global economy ensures that its rise is not isolated but interconnected with global supply chains, technology networks, and international markets. From America's perspective, India's growth is a double-edged sword. It provides opportunities for collaboration, outsourcing, and investment, but it also introduces competition that can challenge America's economic dominance in certain sectors. India's economic potential is amplified by its resilience. Despite global economic downturns, financial crises, and regional challenges, India has demonstrated a remarkable capacity to recover and sustain growth. This resilience, combined with its demographic advantage, technological innovation, and consumer market strength, signals that India's economic rise is not temporary, but a long-term reality. The United States, as a global superpower, must account for India's trajectory in its economic strategies, trade negotiations, and geopolitical planning. India's economic growth is a source of admiration, opportunity, and, yes, cautious apprehension. India's economic growth and market potential are unparalleled in today's world. Its large, young population, technological advancements, growing consumer base, and proactive economic policies position it as a global economic powerhouse. For America, this represents both a significant opportunity for partnership and a reason for vigilance, as India's rise inevitably reshapes global economic dynamics. The world cannot ignore India, and neither can America, as the economic landscape evolves in ways that reflect India's increasing influence and potential. If you want, I can also expand the other two reasons: India's military strength and technological advancements, to match this level of detail. So the full speech is fully fleshed out for a longer presentation. Do you want me to do that next? India's strategic and military strength has emerged as a critical factor in its growing global influence, making it a country that major powers, including the United States, view with both respect and caution. Over the past few decades, India has transformed its defense capabilities from a largely regional, reactive force into a sophisticated, modern military with global reach. This transformation reflects a combination of historical necessities, strategic foresight, technological advancement, and a commitment to securing India's national interests in an increasingly complex geopolitical landscape. The United States, despite being a long-standing partner and ally in many areas, cannot ignore India's rising military profile, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region, where security dynamics are shifting rapidly. India's military strength is anchored in its size, structure, and modernization programs. It maintains one of the largest standing armed forces in the world, composed of the Indian Army, Navy, Air Force, and paramilitary units. This size allows India to maintain operational flexibility across multiple fronts, from border security with neighboring countries to overseas operations and peacekeeping missions. Its geographic position further underscores the strategic importance of its military capabilities. India shares borders with countries that have experienced conflict and tension, including China and Pakistan, and it sits at the crossroads of critical maritime routes in the Indian Ocean. This location necessitates a versatile military that can protect territorial integrity, safeguard trade routes, and respond to regional security threats. For the United States, India's position and capability make it a vital player in maintaining balance and stability in Asia, but they also mean that India has the power to act independently in ways that could shift regional dynamics. Modernization of the Indian military has been a priority in recent years. The government has invested heavily in advanced weaponry, missile systems, fighter jets, naval vessels, and cyber capabilities, indigenous defense manufacturing, including projects such as the Tejas fighter aircraft, INS Vikrant aircraft carrier, and ballistic missile programs, reflects India's determination to reduce dependence on foreign arms while enhancing domestic capability. Additionally, India has strengthened its strategic partnerships with other nations, including Israel, France, Russia, and the United States itself, to gain access to cutting-edge technology and training. These modernization efforts have significantly improved India's ability to conduct high-tech warfare, deterrence operations, and rapid response missions. making it a formidable regional and increasingly global military power. India's nuclear arsenal and strategic deterrence further solidify its military significance. India has developed a credible second strike capability, including land-based missiles, submarine-launched ballistic missiles, and strategic aircraft. This triad ensures that India can maintain a secure deterrent against potential threats while projecting its influence in international security matters. The possession of nuclear weapons not only strengthens India's defense, but also elevates its role in global geopolitics. For the United States, India's nuclear capability is a factor of both reassurance and caution. On one hand, India's responsible handling of nuclear weapons contributes to regional stability. On the other hand, it reinforces India's status as a sovereign power capable of challenging strategic calculations in Asia. India's strategic strength is also evident in its maritime capabilities. The Indian Navy has become one of the most modern and strategically important forces in the Indian Ocean region. With a focus on blue water capabilities, India can now project power across vast distances, protect sea lanes, and contribute to multinational security operations. Control over key maritime choke points, such as the Strait of Malacca and the Arabian Sea, gives India significant influence over global trade routes and energy flows. The United States recognizes that India's growing naval power is a stabilizing factor in the region, but it also means that India can act independently in ways that may not always align with American interests. India's strategic military strength is complemented by its active participation in international defense and security cooperation. India engages in joint military exercises with numerous countries, contributing to interoperability, knowledge exchange, and global strategic influence. Its diplomatic and defense initiatives, including participation in forums like the Quad, underline India's role as a key security partner in balancing regional power dynamics, particularly in the context of rising Chinese influence. America's observation of India's military trajectory is informed by both the potential for collaboration and the recognition that India is emerging as a strategic power with the capacity to shape outcomes independently. India's strategic and military strength is a product of careful planning, modernization, geographic necessity, and a commitment to national sovereignty. Its large and versatile armed forces, advanced technology, nuclear capabilities, and growing naval power position India as a formidable regional and emerging global player. For the United States, India's rise as a military power is both reassuring and a cause for careful calculation. India is no longer simply a regional actor dependent on global powers. It is a nation with the capability to influence security, trade, and political outcomes across Asia and beyond. This growing strategic autonomy explains why America, while maintaining strong partnerships with India, also approaches its rise with measured caution. India's technological and scientific advancements have become a defining feature of its rise on the global stage, establishing it as a nation capable of competing with the world's leading powers. Over the past several decades, India has transitioned from a developing country primarily known for agriculture and traditional industries into a hub of innovation, research, and high technology. This transformation is not just limited to information technology, but spans space exploration, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, renewable energy, and advanced manufacturing. These achievements demonstrate India's capacity for innovation and position it as a major player in shaping global technological trends. For the United States, India's rapid progress in these areas is both an opportunity for collaboration and a source of strategic caution, highlighting the growing influence of India in sectors once dominated by Western nations. One of the most notable areas of India's technological growth is its information technology sector. India has become a global leader in software development, IT services, and business process outsourcing. Cities such as Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Pune, and Gurugram are recognized internationally as technology hubs, hosting both multinational corporations and thriving startups. Indian IT companies have successfully served clients across the globe, providing software solutions, cybersecurity services, cloud computing, and enterprise management tools. The success demonstrates India's technical talent, innovation capacity, and competitive advantage in delivering complex technological solutions efficiently and cost-effectively. For the United States, which has long been at the forefront of technological innovation, India represents a dual reality. It is a partner in delivering solutions and outsourcing services, yet it is also a competitor with the potential to challenge America's dominance in the tech sector. Beyond information technology, India has made significant strides in space and scientific research. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, has achieved milestones that have captured global attention, including the successful launch of satellites, interplanetary missions, and cost-effective space technologies. India's Mars orbiter mission, which made it the first country to reach Mars orbit on its first attempt, exemplifies both technical skill and strategic vision. Additionally, India has developed indigenous satellite navigation systems, communication satellites, and Earth observation capabilities. These scientific accomplishments enhance India's strategic autonomy, provide critical data for national development, and contribute to global scientific knowledge. For the United States, India's space program represents a partnership opportunity in terms of collaboration and joint ventures, but it also signals India's growing ability to operate independently in a domain historically dominated by superpowers. India has also invested heavily in cutting-edge research in emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, robotics, biotechnology, and renewable energy. Indian researchers and engineers are increasingly contributing to global breakthroughs in AI algorithms, machine learning applications, and biotechnology solutions, including healthcare diagnostics and sustainable agriculture. India's commitment to renewable energy, including solar and wind power, reflects not only technological innovation but also strategic foresight in addressing global climate challenges. These advancements demonstrate that India is not merely adopting foreign technologies, but actively creating new knowledge and solutions, thereby asserting itself as a global innovator. For America, India's achievements in these areas highlight a rising competitor in sectors that are critical for economic growth, national security, and technological leadership. Furthermore, India's innovation ecosystem has been bolstered by government initiatives and policies that encourage research, entrepreneurship, and private sector participation. Programs such as Digital India, Startup India, and investment in research and development infrastructure have created an environment where technological ideas can flourish and be commercialized effectively. Universities, research institutes, and private enterprises are increasingly collaborating to develop advanced technologies, which has expanded India's capacity for innovation across multiple disciplines. This coordinated effort strengthens India's global position as a hub of scientific and technological excellence. For the United States, India's rise in this domain is both a strategic opportunity for collaboration and a recognition that India is moving rapidly toward technological self-reliance. India's technological and scientific progress has global implications. By advancing in areas such as space exploration, AI, biotechnology, and renewable energy, India is influencing international research agendas, shaping technological standards, and contributing to global solutions. Its capabilities allow it to negotiate from a position of strength in international forums, collaborate with leading nations, and compete in high-tech industries. For the United States, this growing influence means that India is no longer a passive participant in global technological development, but an active and increasingly influential player. The combination of talent, innovation, policy support, and strategic vision positions India as a nation that can both collaborate with and compete against the world's leading powers in science and technology. India's technological and scientific advancements reflect a remarkable journey of innovation, research, and strategic foresight. From information technology and space exploration to AI, biotechnology, and renewable energy, India has demonstrated its capacity to compete on the global stage. Its achievements are reshaping international technological dynamics, creating opportunities for collaboration, while also signaling the emergence of a capable and independent competitor. For the United States, India's rise in science and technology is both a source of partnership and a reason for careful attention. reflecting the broader reality that India is increasingly shaping the world not only economically and strategically, but also intellectually and technologically. As we reflect on the multifaceted rise of India in today's world, it becomes evident that the nation's economic strength, military capabilities, and technological advancements are not just milestones of national achievement. They are signals to the global community that India has arrived as a major player on the world stage. This realization demands a deep understanding of India's evolving role, and it explains why even powerful nations like the United States approach India with a mix of respect, caution, and strategic calculation. The story of India's rise is not merely a story of numbers, weapons, or innovation. It is a story of resilience, vision, and the determination of a nation to define its own destiny while influencing the trajectory of the entire world. India's rise challenges the traditional notions of global power. For decades, economic and technological dominance was concentrated in a few countries, with established powers setting the rules and standards. India's rapid economic growth, its emergence as a hub for high-tech innovation, and its growing strategic influence have disrupted the status quo. With a population of over 1.4 billion, a dynamic workforce, and a thriving entrepreneurial spirit, India is no longer a passive observer in global affairs. It is an active shaper of international economic trends. The United States, despite its global supremacy, must recognize that India's ascent will inevitably influence trade, technology, and diplomacy in ways that demand careful engagement and mutual respect. The acknowledgement of India's capabilities is not an admission of rivalry alone, but a recognition of a new global reality in which India plays a decisive role. Moreover, India's strategic and military strength reinforces its position as a power that can independently safeguard its interests and influence regional stability. A strong military does not signify aggression, rather it signifies responsibility, preparedness, and the ability to negotiate from a position of strength. India's defense capabilities, including its nuclear arsenal, advanced missile systems, and expanding naval reach, ensure that it is no longer dependent on the protection or direction of other powers. This independence allows India to participate in global affairs on equal footing, to collaborate where interests align, and to assert its priorities where they differ. The United States, in its interactions with India, must understand that India's military and strategic autonomy is both a safeguard for its sovereignty and a stabilizing force in a region marked by historical conflicts and emerging challenges. This balance of power creates a partnership that is dynamic, mutually beneficial, and grounded in realpolitik, but it also requires the acknowledgement that India will chart its own course when necessary. India's advancements in science, technology, and innovation further amplify its global influence. From space exploration and artificial intelligence to biotechnology and renewable energy, India is demonstrating that it can lead in sectors that define the 21st century. Its achievements are not limited to domestic progress. They resonate internationally, contributing to global knowledge, fostering collaboration, and inspiring innovation worldwide. This technological prowess enhances India's economic growth, strengthens its strategic autonomy, and elevates its voice in international forums where critical decisions about the future of the planet are made. For the United States, India's rise in these fields represents both opportunity and competition, emphasizing the importance of engagement that is respectful, strategic, and forward-looking. Recognizing India's role in shaping global technological landscapes is not only prudent, it is essential for building partnerships that reflect the realities of a multipolar world. Beyond economics, military strength, and technology, the broader significance of India's rise lies in the ideals it represents. India is the world's largest democracy, a nation that has navigated challenges of diversity, development, and social transformation while maintaining its democratic institutions. Its rise embodies the power of resilience, vision, and long-term planning. It shows that a nation can leverage its human capital, natural resources, and intellectual capability to achieve extraordinary outcomes. This is a message not only for the United States, but for the entire world, that development is not dictated solely by historical advantage or current dominance, but by vision, strategy, in determination. In conclusion, the reason the United States, and indeed the world, views India with both respect and caution is not rooted in fear alone. It is rooted in recognition of a nation that has achieved remarkable economic growth, built formidable strategic capabilities, and pioneered technological advancements that are reshaping the global landscape. India's rise is inevitable, and it is reshaping the rules of engagement in economics, security, and innovation. To overlook India's influence would be to misunderstand the direction of the 21st century. The story of India is a story of ambition tempered by pragmatism, of growth guided by strategy, and of a nation that understands its place in a complex, interconnected world. As we look forward, it is clear that India's journey is far from complete. Its potential continues to expand, its capabilities continue to strengthen, and its voice in global affairs continues to grow louder. The United States and other nations must not only recognize this reality, but also engage with India as an equal partner, as a strategic ally, and as a nation whose rise enriches, challenges, and ultimately reshapes the global order. India is no longer the future, it is the present. Its influence is undeniable, its trajectory is unstoppable, and its role on the world stage is one that commands both respect and careful consideration. The rise of India is a story of hope, power, and promise, and it reminds the world that greatness is achieved not through fear or domination, but through vision, innovation, and the unwavering determination to define one's own destiny.